And just like that, here we are in a black and white montage. My new backdrop. 52 degrees here in the Hudson Valley as we do this live on a Saturday night, the 4th of May already. And I didn't even bother to put the fan on. It's cool enough, and it's only going to get cooler. It was a cool day. We didn't make it over to Sugarloaf for their spring festival. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain, so that's the bad thing about being a vendor. You never know what you're going to find when you just making sure I have audio. I have audio, right? You can hear me. Good evening from South Dakota, land of Christy Gnome. She's kind of doing damage control over, what was it, Cracker the dog? um, but she'll be just fine. She'll be just fine. William Murphy, I just seen Elvis. Well, good for you there, William. Lana Dye. Hello, Jack and friends. Ruth Bartley, that's a new one. Hello from some little symbol that I can't decipher. It could be something that represents your state, but I can't really see it. Where is that, Ruth? Should put on my $1.25 readers when I'm looking at that part. Huh? Already we have 33 and 5 likes. Please hit the subscription button and the like button. Finally, 7,500 subscribers. 7,500. It took us a long time to get to that mark from 7,100 to 75. But we made it 7,500 subscribers. I was talking about 10,000, but I could be dead by then at this rate if we go at that pace. But really, it's all about what you put in the title. And there is a core audience, especially for the live shows, and for, of course, the Bob Joyce topic. There's a core audience. I mean, if you get a hot video that goes to 20, 30, 40,000, I guess we're approaching 150,000 on the verdict. I haven't checked the count yet, but it still is doing well. Obviously, there's a lot of non-subscribers in there. They like the video, that kind of thing. So, boy, it's going by real quick here with only 47 that I know of. Sharon Salier, good evening. Deborah Lake, hello, Deborah. Hello. Deb Smith, yes, hello, Jack. Where are you watching from? Deb, always like to know if you've told me before. I just the short-term memory. If you told me in 1963, I'd probably remember, but I don't think I knew you then. Michael Hoover, I can hear you very well. Swell, Michael Hoover, who his family invented a vacuum cleaner, if you don't know that. Ida Winstead. Hello, Mr. Jack. Well, hi, Ida. Welcome. Brenda Noyce is here. Um, say you found us. Ted Richards. Good evening, everyone from Vermont. Beautiful 64 degrees today, but cooling off to 41 tonight. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not sure about this global warming thing. uh, Nath Princess, hello. Oh, you're in Canada, Ruth. Wow, well, that's cool. Welcome. There are others that will come in here tonight from Canada, like Shelley. She's the campaign president for uh, Donald Trump, but in the country of Canada. So you'll probably see her running around with the bumper stickers on her car. Um, William just watched an Elvis video. I see now. Sharon Salier. That's close to the other name, right? Little Rock, Arkansas. Is that where Robert Wayne Joyce lives? Hmm. I think we have some Joyces in Little Rock. I believe we do. Linda Guthrie. Well, that's a simple one. She's Arlo's daughter. Look at that. Arlo Guthrie. I bet you know all the lyrics to Alice's Restaurant. Hello from Newton Falls, Iowa. Ohio. I don't know why I said Iowa. Newton Falls, Ohio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cheryl Everhart joins us. Hello, Jack and family. Alvin from Iowa. Um, and Teresa is here as well. And let's see here. Linda Justice checking in. Hi, Linda, one of our regulars. Hi, Jack. I've been real sick, really. Yeah. What did you have there? Are you getting better? Hope so. Stefan is here. Sharon says, gonna visit the church next week. Benton, only 20 minutes from here. Oh, you did mention, I remember someone telling me they're only 20 minutes from Benton. So, of course, you've got to go. Looking very forward to hearing Brother Bob preach. Charlotte Surratt, hello. Hey, everybody. And Teresa's from Louisiana. Yes, thank you for reminding me because I do forget. Heather's from Canada. I'll give you her street address and her PIN number in a little while. That was a joke, Brenda. Gail George, hello from Tennessee. I know they got a Buc-ee's there. I got my Buc-ee's shirt over there in the corner. There wasn't room to put it in my background today. 55 watching, please hit the subscribe and like button and the notification bell. During this week, we're going to be popping on to pop off. Maybe at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, East Coast time, 4:30, you never know. Something like that. So be part. The Grand Patriarch is here, Mr. Richard Lyon. I'm giving you that title, and it comes with responsibilities, Richard. You will be given a list of them in the email. What's up, Doc? How are you, Richard? Good to see you. Andra is here. Hey, Jack and all. I guess Mikhail has joined us, huh? Is that correct, Michael? Felice Cooper. She has music on Spotify. Check it out. Very gifted musician. Hi, Jack. Felice K. Cooper. Hope you're feeling well. Just watched the movie A Face in the Crowd with Andy Griffith. Oh, that sounds like a good one. I don't think he ever did anything bad. And it reminds me so much of Elvis's beginnings. Brilliant movie. See, I've got to remember that. People tell me movies, and if I don't write them down, um, I'll be in trouble because now that you mention it, my friend Leon at the diner um, told me about a movie I think might be called Hidden Gold, but I'm foggy on it now. But it was actually shot at his parents' farmhouse. Part of it was in Chester, New York. And sometimes you can find it. If you can't find it anywhere else, you can find it on YouTube. Go Yankees! I know Richard's a Yankee fan. I know he is. Not that I have a lot of time to watch movies, but I'll write that down so I don't forget. Like your shirt, huh? I wore this last Saturday night at the Jimmy Sturr show at the Best Western in Wilkes-Barre, um, Pennsylvania, with our good friends, Sean and Norma. I think Sean's probably asleep by now. Kim Lackey, hello, Jack and everyone. Welcome, welcome. Nancy and Terry Whitmore is here. And hello from Maine. I'm so happy to have someone from Maine. Robin Roman is here. Wendy B is here. Richard says, Jack, I have tape on my glasses. I sure do, don't I? This is what happens, my age, Richard, my age. Anything's possible. Thank you. I'm always playing around. You notice the pictures on the wall. You realize that I'm, not playing with 52 cards anymore. Not that I ever was, but yeah. Thank you for that, Richard. You're a fine man down there in Palm Beach, Florida. What's the temperature there, Richard? Grand Patriarch now. Have to get you a T-shirt. How's the new condo, by the way? Do you like it? Do you like the condo, Richard, that you have purchased? Anastasia, that's how she likes to say it. Welcome. Linda Justice likes my shirt. It's No Boundaries. That's the name of it. That's how I like to live. But I'm not supposed to live that way, see. I'm not supposed to live with no boundaries. Huh. Neo joins us. Hey, we're the monkeys. People say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. Well, that sounds good. Wendy B, what the hell is going on in Michigan? I mean, you got Biden. I'm not going to go off on a long tangent. Don't worry. You got Biden afraid to totally quickly come against people who are Jew haters who want to eliminate Israel and who are terrorizing students, Jewish students, because he's worried about losing Michigan. What the heck happened in Michigan? I mean, you got Whitmore. I have no respect for her, but then you've got some of the squad. What the heck? So we have a strong radical Muslim influence in the state of Michigan. When did that start to happen? How did that form? What the heck is going on here? Other countries laugh at us. The Muslim countries laugh at us. They put that shite down real quick. They put that. Let's send these students over there. Oh, it's so funny. Iran is offering these students scholarships. They're saying how proud they are what they're doing over here. Trying to transform America into a totalitarian society. Could you imagine these students in Iran? Oh man, no. They'd be wearing the full hijab or something. None of the things they like to do, they'd be able to do there. They would be under a dictator rule like they will never experience in America. Well, I can't say that for sure anymore. Who knows what's going to happen once you get the progressives running things? They are bad, bad, bad. They don't even know what they're doing. These kids, we all know what it's like to want to protest something, right? We do know that. Jimmy, maybe. Jack, where are our kids affected by the floods? Where our kids affected by the floods? I hope they were safe. There's, in this time, Jimmy, maybe that I got to think about what you're talking about because I know Oklahoma had some terrible tornadoes that came through, and there's a couple of Oklahoma towns that don't exist anymore. All these things that the Bible talks about that's going to happen in the last days are happening, but it's nothing new. for tornadoes, especially I guess this time of year in places like Oklahoma. Cheryl Larson is here. Sandra is here. Hi, Jack and friends. Happy to be here with all of you. And let's see here. Sharon is saying hi, Alice. So that means, yes, Alice Warner is here. Good evening from South Carolina. I have thought about living there. I live there already. I don't know how far you are from Rock Hill, South Carolina, but I liked it there. But I don't think I'd really be welcome in Rock Hill, South Carolina anymore. They got a great Golden Corral there, and I like the Food Lion. That was a very friendly store. The Piggly Wiggly had left, and Big Saver, whatever it's called, that's there, and lots of Family Dollars everywhere you go. Ladies and gentlemen, my hair stylist extraordinaire is here, Vito Yazzo, Vito. There he is saying, "Hey, bud." Oh, I don't drink the bud, Vito. I don't drink any beer, and I know you probably don't either. Not that it would be sinful if you had a beer, it wouldn't. Those Baptists would say it, like Jesus turned the money saving brand grape juice into Welch's or something. No, it was wine. It's drunkenness that the Bible speaks against, even if Pastor Joe doesn't think that. Yeah, I said it, Vito. Vito Yazzo, Yozzo. Um, One we're going to do the next time I get my hair cut, Vito, if you are willing, we'll do something that I will load as a separate video, and maybe you can sing a couple of bars right there from the salon, and we'll do a mini interview, okay, with my cell phone, so people can at least get a sample of Vito Yazzo. But you can go to his channel, Vito Yazzo, Yozzo, and listen to all his tunes. Please subscribe and like. The reason I stress sample is Jimmy Samples is here. No relation, I think, to Junior Samples of Hee Haw, but then again, I don't really know, do I? Hi, Jimmy from West Virginia. Who's Jimmy? Maybe, huh? You know Jimmy? Hi, Jimmy from West Virginia. I thought you were talking to Jimmy, maybe. But he spells it with an I-E, right? Hi, Carmen's Sylvia. She's here as well. Check her music out right here on YouTube. Lots of it. She's always loading new music. Jane Justice. Hi, Jack. Hope you are doing better still. East Tennessee had some rain today, but a nice evening. Wow, it's coming by as fast as it's ever come by. 91 watching right now from around the globe. Do we have anybody from South Africa? Do we have Wales yet? Do we have England? How's my buddy Michael Stein? We gotta hook up. Hope you're not upset with me. Some of the things he suggests I still haven't gotten to, just because I don't know. It's been a feeling of being overwhelmed. Um, Vito says he has not touched a drop of alcohol in 10 years. Well, very good. I mean, yeah, if it's a problem to you. Um, so using your strategy, Vito, I should never go in Brother Bruno's again. That's like you going into the saloon, not the salon, spelled differently. Extra L, saloon. um, I should never, since my thing is food addiction and one other addiction that, might have something to do with the ladies. But at 68, I don't have to worry. It's a different world for me now. Doesn't mean things really changed upstairs, you know. That's not as easy. You know, that's not as easy. You know, that's not as easy. Ken Larkin can probably understand what I'm saying. Good evening from Berkeley, Massachusetts. Well, well, well. Can you get some good chowder in Berkeley, Massachusetts? I wonder who wrote the book of love. I think it was God. It was God the Holy Spirit. Yeah. John Jeffries. Hi, Jack. Hello, John. That's a strong name. It's like somebody who would be on the cast of Dynasty or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Um, yeah, Sharon, you gotta check out Vito's music. You really, really do, and Carmen's music as well. Um, Army Mom Heather C. Where are you from, Army Mom Heather C? Welcome. We have two Heathers now. Heather Feather and Army Mom Heather. Doris Sutton Schroeder. And she's been high and dry, or not high and dry for 36 years. Cool. Jack the Man. I don't know. Vito, sometimes I'm like Lucy at the chocolate factory here. Those chocolates are coming down so fast, and I can only put so many in me mouth. I can only put so many in me mouth. Oh, one of these things I've been craving and buying lately. I hate to say it, but I've been brining. I've been buying Hershey milk chocolate bars with almonds, and I don't mean the little one, guys. I mean the giant size. And then Karen has some, and she's not supposed to be doing that. So, got to get away from that habit. Awesome Kentucky Derby. What was it? Karen told me the name of the winner. I can almost say it. I can almost say it. Dan, something Dan, right? What'd you think about that? Since you never answer any of my other questions, or if you do, Richard, you answer maybe 1 and 9. Um, if you do, um, I don't know what I was going to say now. See, this is what happens. I need a checkup from the neck up. Oh, I'll be seeing Dr. Gapai on Monday, my GP. Um, you got to go to sleep. Vito is the owner of the Classy Cuts Salon in Middletown, New York, in the Dulcin Avenue Plaza there. So check him out. Check him out. Thank you for dropping by, Vito. Andra. Hey, Jack. I was chatting with a known Bob Joyce protector, but he now says Bob Joyce is the king. He had to change a hat. He had to come to Elvis moment. Well, if he's coming to Elvis and Elvis is alive today, Elvis will send him to Jesus, so it'll work out. I was like, what? I was like, what? Because although respectful, we usually differ. He said the naysayer is not him. Trolls are all part of the deal. Everybody that does YouTube gets trolls and has to block people and stuff. We get few, but when that happens and it becomes a problem, every programmer has to deal with that. And you can even report them if they persist in other ways. I'm sure you get the ladies with that voice. Are you talking about Vito? He's a happily married man, but well, I never had that multi-million-dollar set of pipes, so I never had that like James Earl Jones and um, some people. You see them and they don't do anything in broadcasting, and I've had this experience. Um, you know, uh, where I've told them, man, you have a real radio voice. Close so that now it's not so much radio, but it's just a broadcast voice. Radio is not what it once was when it comes to music, but it's still alive with talk radio and with sports radio and some news radio, but not as much news radio because people want the visual. Um, yeah, Vito's congratulating those for being sober. Like to say happy upcoming Mother's Day to all moms. That's a week from tomorrow, right? Is that what it is? High and dry. Yes. Um, I'm dry, but now I'm high. I've got a Rocky Mountain high, and I'm not in Colorado. Hmm. Yeah, it's 68. I mean, it's not like Carmen that I'm an all night rock and roll DJ. Jackie London's I was for a while with a permed afro and I pick up the request line at 2, 3 in the morning, and there's a sexy voice on there. Close your ears, Vito. This is not for you. A sexy voice on there, and the first line out of her mouth is to tell me she's not wearing anything. I said, "Well, put some clothes on. This is a family show." That's what I said. Something like that, anyway. Oh, dear. Um, Ida, what am I saying? I beg your pardon, but I never promised you a rose garden. Yes, congratulations to all being clean. That doesn't mean, there are some people, alcohol has never been a problem for me. Every once in a while, I have a margarita. I tried to convince myself I liked wine for years. I don't. I'll have a slow gin fizz, but nobody knows how to make them anymore. And then I won't have anything for 7 or 8 months. And now with cardiomyopathy, just very little. So it's not been something that ever grabbed a hold of me, but I know it does other people. Jack, you have a soothing voice. Well, then I will tell bedtime stories. You can relax a woman like butter till she sees me face, till she sees me mug, and then it's all over with. Because I don't, I have a picture when I was 12 years old. I was going to show you. I don't know why. I know why, because it's my friend Mike Candido, who's the drummer for Gary Puckett, has been for like, I don't know, 12 years. This goes way back. I think I was 12. So 1968, maybe. It's kind of foggy, but there you go. I even have to deal with glare in pictures, for goodness sakes. Yeah, that's a young Mike Candido who lives out in Las Vegas, Nevada. He plays he does doo-wop with a group called the Night Kings, but he's also got a jazz group in Las Vegas, and he can play with those groups when he's not on tour with Gary Puckett. When the summer comes along, Gary will do the Happy Together tour often, and they have like one band that does all the music, so they don't go to that. But they just did a cruise. Mike just did a cruise with Gary Puckett, and there he was about 16, 17 there, and I'm about 12 years old there with my gold turtleneck sweater on. Yeah. um, Anybody having sound issues? Nothing here to indicate a problem. Sometimes it's the local cable system. Well, thank you, Nancy DeBarco. Thank you very much. We're speaking with Nancy tonight on the Love Line. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Some local cable systems, have problems, and I quickly have to make sure it's not a universal problem or a Warner Brothers problem. Butter makes everything better, says Doris. Ain't it the truth, Doris? Ain't it the truth? But I got these triglycerides. I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Gapai. He's like 80 years old now. I can't believe it. I knew him when he was much younger, 40 something maybe. Been seeing him for a long time, and he won't retire. His wife passed away, and I don't think he wants to move where his daughters are, where it's probably very hot, like where Richard never answers any of my questions, or I miss them, like the temperature, how he likes his condo. Nothing, nothing. Anastasia says, "Cutie. She must be speaking about Richard. Yes, he's the grand patriarch now, but you know, to be the grand patriarch, you got to answer questions once in a while. But he's tied up, and it wouldn't be the first time. Oh, dear, Neo. How are you doing tonight? Good sound here. Cheryl Larson, working, working fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shannon, how are you, Sharon Lauder? It sounds like you're the name. What am I thinking of? SD Lauder. What is it? The designer. STSD. I don't know. Um, That was on Midland Avenue. Mike would go on to big and better things, but he actually lived in this house in the 90s, and I visited him here with his older brother because we were such good friends of the Candidos. Betty, Laura, my mom, and Laura were great friends. Hi, Kay. Hey, Kay. Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi, joins us today. I always forget where you're from, Marianne, but it could be New York. Could be. Hi, everyone. It's raining here in Otway, Ohio. Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll have rain here soon. So it's coming from you, I think. It's coming our way. Um, so I think I've caught up. With who's here. 71 watching right now. 45 likes. Please hit the subscribe and like button. A couple more pictures before I go to a little bit of content. People say, oh, it took you half an hour to get the content. This is a family chat more than anything else. When I do the pre-recorded videos, and I have one planned to probably be released tomorrow, um, we we get to the content real quick. I've learned I've got to do that. Just a picture of those Rolling Stones, huh? That's who's out there right now. But look who's with them in this picture, Sir Paul McCartney. Sir Paul McCartney. He got to sing with the Rolling Stones, and he said that was a lifelong dream. And I think it was vice versa, too. Yeah. Ron Wood, Keith Richards. Keith Richards admonishes the young people, those college clowns um, that are causing havoc. And he says, you kids got to think what kind of world you're going to leave for Willie Nelson and me. Yeah. And I talk about this E.C. Stilson. You can find her on Facebook. If there's a way to contribute to her, she has several books available too. E.C. Stilson. She has terminal cancer, and she does therapies that basically extend her life and keep her alive. She has young children. She has a husband. She goes for these treatments in Utah often, and she doesn't live in Utah. So, and she often drives herself. One of these things when, when you go past your life expectancy, people have jobs and stuff like that. And you can find yourself, somebody recently um, got a bed and breakfast for her. They paid for it in Utah, so she didn't have to drive home after these treatments. She should have a personal assistant if anyone should ever have. So find her on Facebook. If there's a way to donate, it would be well worthwhile. She's a wonderful woman, Jewish woman, and has a wonderful family. Get her books, one or two books that she has. E.C. Stilson. Let's do the commercial for George Magazine Live, the big event that is coming the 11th and August 10th and 11th in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Gene Ho emailed me, and he asked me to promote this. And he said some other things in the email. I'll get to that, but you'll see the spot when we do the pre-recorded show, which hopefully will be released tomorrow. Have to get Dandy Andy up to insert the spot, but at least I guess you can hear the audio pretty good if I go right here. So listen, and then I'm going to give you a promo code if you're interested in going to this event. That'll save you 15% off. Okay. So let's listen.
Join us in beautiful Hot Springs, Arkansas for the first annual George Magazine Live, August 10th and 11th, with special guests Richie Minervini, John B. Wells, Amanda Grace, Pastor Bob Joyce, Donae Clement, Juanita Broderick, Scott McKay, Andre Polka, and special online appearance by Dave Blade, the CEO of George Magazine, with your musical guest Bella Polka and me. Come on, join us Sunday for a free Sunday service as well with Pastor Bob Joyce. It's George Magazine Live, August 10th and 11th. Find out more at George Magazine Live.
GeorgeMagazineLive.com. Yeah, GeorgeMagazineLive.com. So we heard from Gene Ho. It's okay for me to say that. I'm very honored that he has contacted me. And if you use the promo code when you go to GeorgeMagazineLive.com and look up this event, if you use the promo code Gene, all lowercase, Gene, Gene, you will save 50% on the Saturday event. That's the paid event on Saturday with those speakers and those music people. That was Gene Ho telling you that. And they have packages online, GeorgeMagazineLive.com, hotels and what have you. And the Sunday service is free to attend, says Gene. People can come on Sunday only and not go to Saturday. They can just go to the Sunday service and the annual baptism for free. What I can tell you is that Pastor Bob Joyce is not getting paid for this event, and George Magazine is paying for the Horner Hall Theater to have his service that day. So yes, it's a paid event, but it's not. Sunday is free, and you'll want to donate. Of course, as always, anytime you gather, bring your fruits, your first fruits to the Lord, and He always, the Word of God says, He will bless you. He will bless you. Because the Horner Hall Theater is going to cost George Magazine. Not exactly sure how many seats there are there. But you can find that out, and if you can get to Hot Springs for those days, fly into Little Rock and take a rental car down, however you're going to do it, I think it would be a life-remembering experience. So that is very cool. GeorgeMagazineLive.com. Yeah, we've heard from quite a few people this week. Katina Swatsworth, she was saying her daughter was improving. Please keep her daughter in prayer. I'm sorry I don't have the name here. Chantal sent me something interesting that I may cover in a video, pre-recorded video. And we heard from a number of you, Ken Larkin and Susan and others. So that is really good. A lot of emails. Elizabeth this week. She went to Benton and had a wonderful experience there. And one of the people that was at Mar-a-Lago, when Pastor Bob Joyce was there just a few weeks back when I was at the Villa Roma Resort, Pastor was at Mar-a-Lago, and the man, Steve Barfield, who took a picture with Pastor Bob, his wife and Melina were in the picture as well. He was at Household of Faith when Elizabeth went. So there you go. I believe that's correct. I believe I've got that right. And we're back. Yeah. I'm back. I can see. Thanks for plugging my music. My song, Don't Break My Heart Again, was written for Whitney and sent to Arista Records. It's on Spotify and YouTube. You got that, everybody? I'm going to write that down because if I don't, I will forget. I've got to listen to that. And there's a plethora of Carmen Sylvia songs, covers that she does. Don't break my heart again. Well, you know what they say, Felice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Don't go breaking my heart. Don't go breaking my heart. Kiki D. She used to be the opening act for Elton John till he decided that he was going to do 3 hour shows. And at a certain point, he didn't really need an opening act anymore. But I saw Elton John when Kiki opened, and she was terrific. She really was. So, yeah, I will definitely listen to that. That's right, Shannon. That's what the Bible says. Be faithful in tithing. There's tithes and then there's offerings, and God will pour out a blessing that we cannot contain. That is absolutely true. People that don't think financial prosperity is part of the Bible are just because there are prophecy teachers, not prophecy teachers, prosperity teachers that have gone way overboard and taken too much for themselves and what have you, doesn't mean that that what the Bible says about blessings and prosperity doesn't include money. I've heard pastors talk about, well, if you're really one of God's intimates, I heard this once, he will probably keep you poor. That's not what the Bible says. It's not what the Bible says. The same pastor in another sermon will tell you about their building fund and how you need to give sacrificially. Oh, dear. Um, Photographs and memories, Carmen's talking about, loaded. Um, Photographs and memories. Christmas cards you gave to me. Da 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 da. The late great Jim Croce, everybody. Oh boy, my first wife loved him very much and cried the day he died. He had just done a concert, I think, right? And got in his little plane, and the plane never cleared the power lines, as I recall, when it fell back and crashed to the earth. That was the end of Jim Croce. It's so sad because he waited so long to get his you know big breakthrough. Um, but as he said in Time in a Bottle, it never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. Jim Croce was special. Yeah. And let's see, Martin Gonzalez is here. Hey, Jack, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Doing much better. Last Saturday we were in Wilkes-Barre. Not Karen. She's thinking about going to Clark, New Jersey. Let me tell you a little bit about. Let me do a little Jimmy Sturr, and then I'll talk about the Elvis injuries, etc., and give you a hint about what we're doing next. So don't tune out. You don't want to miss a minute. That's what they say, right? Some people wouldn't agree, though. Um, Trust me, these shows are incredible. It's not just polka, it's country, it's rock and roll, often with Chris Caffrey from the Trans Siberian Orchestra. But I'm looking at my Jimmy Sturr schedule here, and it's packed for this year. It's packed. Those little check marks are possibilities for me to attend. So I guess you kind of know now. Um, you kind of know uh, what a fanatic I am. First saw Jimmy when I was 14 years old, and he was in his 20s. So we checked off Genetti's in Wilkes-Barre, and I was there. Coming up this month, he'll be in Clark, New Jersey. This is a real possibility. Karen may go to this, the Cultural Center in Clark, New Jersey at 2 p.m. Barnesville, PA on the 26th at the Lakeside Ballroom. That's a first time gig. Incredible wooden dance floor, I'm told. June 22nd, this is almost a definite for us in Warwick, New York. In fact, I bought tickets to it, so I guess it is Penning's Farm. Start time is, I think, noon for the Jimmy Sturr Orchestra. I believe that's correct. July, he'll be right downtown in Middletown for a free concert in Degnan Square. Degnan Square, named after a famous school teacher here, John Degnan, who passed away in the last few days and well into his 80s. So rest in peace, John Degnan. Everybody, I didn't have you as a school teacher, but I know people that did, and they all say you were a wonderful man. He was beloved in this city. Um, and then on the 13th, Port Jervis, New York, America the Beautiful Festival. Jimmy Sturr will be there. And that'll be at 6:45 p.m., followed by fireworks. On the 14th of July, it's Summerfest in Pine Island, New York. What a fun time that is. Special guest tokens with Jay Siegel, the original voice of the Tokens. They've never had that big of a star accompany Jimmy to Summerfest. And the Polish food and those Polish, well, no, they're not Polish desserts, but those desserts. Oh, they're to die for. They're to die for. So that'll be the 14th in Pine Island, New York. That's onion country. Pine Island is the East Coast onion growing capital of the world. And this time of the year for Summerfest, the smell of onions maturing will be in the air. Will be in the air. 103 watching right now. Thank you very much. Let me know who you are. If I miss you, um, uh, say it again because I could miss you. I can't look at the stream all the time. But yeah, Pine Island is a very special gig. You bring a lawn chair, and there's picnic tables too. But you really want to have something more comfortable than that. That'll be a great show. There's a fee to get in there, $25, something like that per person, and they go down to Passaic, New Jersey. I've been there once. It's a crowded city, Passaic, but a very nice park in the middle of it, the 25th. And then they go up to Windsor, Connecticut, but that's a private party. And I'll tell you more as time goes on. If you want to go to Amazon and get a great book, here it is The Polka King, Jimmy Sturr, 18-time Grammy winner, the most important polka musician of his generation. A vocalist and musician, Jimmy Sturr, has won an eye-popping 18 Grammy Awards. And when you hear his exuberant brand of music, you'll understand why. His modernized renditions of polka standards and rock classics have captured the imagination and feet of listeners throughout the world. Now in Polka King, Jimmy shares lively and oftentimes hilarious stories chronicling everything from his upbringings in a one stoplight town of Florida, New York, to how he became the respected band leader, entrepreneur, and Grammy winner he is today. Yeah. Here's an interesting chapter on cousin Bruce Morrow in here. That's chapter 9. And Robert F.X. Sillerman, who passed away in 2019. He owned the name Elvis Presley for a good while before his passing, and owned part of American Idol, etc. He died a billionaire, but he died, like 71, 72. No matter what you do, sometimes you can't stop your time. You can't do it. Um, so Polka King on Amazon or jimmysturr.com, STURR, jimmysturr.com. You see their full schedule there. And the cruise in January, which is beyond my budget. But some people can handle it no problem. There have been many times. Teresa, what's going on? Good evening, Jack. Teresa from Tennessee. Everyone, remember my sister in their prayers was recently diagnosed with lung cancer. I see. And I see people are noting that. I think keep thinking you're going to say Wilkesboro, where I live, when you say Wilkes-Barre. Okay, yeah. Some people say Wilkes-Barre, um, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Some do, but I say Wilkes-Barre. That seems to be the most popular pronunciation. Jack, I live 10 minutes away from Clark, New Jersey, so I'm going to meet you that day, right, Marianne? Will I have the pleasure? I'm always in Clark. You'll come down. I don't think it's a too big of an admission charge. I hope I'll meet Marianne Rossi on the 19th. Um, if I'm not with Karen, I'll certainly be either way. I'll be with Sean and Norma. You'll love them. They are pretty much a go for Clark, New Jersey. So I'd love to meet you on that day. I guarantee you, you will have a terrific time and may want to go to a Jimmy show again after that. You may the next week you might be in that other place in Pennsylvania. Hope to see you there. So prayers coming for Teresa's sister, and I will remember to pray when I go to sleep today before I go to sleep. Frankie Yankovic is also big in polka. Well, he's passed away now, but he was the polka king and very influential in Jimmy Sturr's life. Um, he has a song where he talks about Frankie Yankovic. I don't know which one it is. It's a funny thing though. I listen to the Polka Jammer Network.org, where you can hear Jimmy tomorrow morning as I do this Sunday morning at 11 a.m. East Coast time. You'll hear Jimmy Sturr, his show with called Polka Session. And when you go to the Polka Jammer Network.org, you can go to the archives and hear the last three Jimmy Sturr polka sessions and his Saturday night polka party. And they're always so much fun. He is a great disc jockey, Jimmy Sturr. He always was. I've been hearing him since I was a young lad. Um, so that's right, Marianne. Clark, New Jersey. Please come. I'd love to see you there. So far, I've only met Kenneth Winters from this area, from this city, and there was a few times when I seemed to encounter someone who was a viewer. One in Bar Harbor, Maine, and one right up at the Crystal Run Healthcare Facility. When they stopped, they had somebody with them. They were kind of, in a hurry, but I didn't know the guy, so I just had a feeling. I should have said Bob Joyce, see if I was right. Um, I have no idea what that is, Neo. Compah. I don't know what that is. Ken Sproul. Prayers have been answered in regard to serious diseases via the medical medium book series. They are literally a gift from God. Well, that word medium and God don't usually go together, but he may use that as a you know just a catchy title. I don't know the man's heart. Save my 75-year-old man from stage 3 colon cancer without chemo. Yeah, chemo wrecks as many things as it. Sometimes it does work, but it does damage cells and what have you. So there you go. Andrew, uh, he enjoys pasta, Bob Joyce, which I didn't know Bob had a pasta, but that's cool. Yeah, let's see. It's a pasta. Hey, pasta. How are you, Andrew? Where are you watching from tonight here in the live stream? Hello, replay crowd. Please subscribe and like. The replay crowd is always bigger, and you're just as much a part of the family, La Familia. So comment in the section in the replay, okay, and we'll get back to you there. Um, Carmen says she's 14,651 miles away. Well, if you start now, I forget where you're from, Carmen. I didn't think it was that far. I will email you, says Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. I need the details again. Yeah, do I have a start time on Clark, New Jersey? Let's see. Um, it's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. It's the Cultural Center. Um, it's all that's on here, but I'll be able to get you the exact address so you can put it in your GPS. Um, you can sit at our table, perhaps, huh? That would be wonderful. Karen may be with me. She may not be with me. Um, I'll just tell her, well, you don't have to go, honey. Marianne Rossi will be there and she'll come. Oh, in New Zealand, really, Carmen? Why did I forget that? How could I forget that? Because I know that New Zealand has been mentioned before. Yeah, okay. That is amazing. Um, so I noticed you got somebody, you got a good tech person, Carmen. You got somebody giving you or you, if you've done it yourself, then it's amazing. A really nice open and what have you, montage. Somebody doing your tech work. That's what I want. I want that person, but probably not someone from New Zealand. David Staten, good evening from Cottonwood, Arizona. Welcome, David. I'm glad you're here. David Brian Lawson. Hey, your friend David Lawson. Okay, yes. He messages me from Lexington, North Carolina. Finally caught your live coverage. Breaking news. Breaking news. Um, yes, one wonders where Zealand is, huh? Since there is a New Zealand, whatever you're saying, Neo, I've told you 1,000 times, stay away from the Manischewitz. Stay away. Ida is praying, and that's a very good thing. Hey, I don't know if I was in Lexington, North Carolina. I was in Charlotte. I was in, what's that? Gaston, wherever the speedway is. Is it a dog track or I can't remember. I know that they had a festival in the parking lot, and I was there for that with my second ex-wife. um, I'm glad to hear the author is not a medium because it's like hot fudge and spaghetti sauce, as I always say. They don't go together. God speaks to him like he did Moses, but in a different way. Well, yeah, I don't know anything about this person. In the Christian version of what would be called what a medium does, you could call it, the Pentecostals say, a word of knowledge. But and this, of course, dovetails into prophecy and modern day prophecy teachers and speakers. Um, you always have to pray for discernment, as to whether you feel it's a word from God. I'm real careful in this area because, well, for once, on one side of it, I don't ever want to speak about something that the Holy Spirit is doing today. I know that the Bible talks about not adding to the word of God, but it also says in the last days, which is where we are. I don't think there's any doubt about it. We're in the last days. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. And it was Paul that said that. And it's kind of revolutionary. Had to be the Holy Spirit speaking through him because Paul is the same one that said women should be quiet in church and not speak, you know? Uh, so um, if you look at what Paul said, it's hard to justify women pastors over men. But that scripture is often ignored, it seems, today in various denominations, Methodist, um, I guess in the Pentecostal realm. Um, Episcopalian for sure, but there's a conservative Episcopalian, and then there's one that is open to anything, like the Unitarians would be. We'll have a we'll have a Buddhist speaker next week. We're open to anything here, and you know what? In those kind of Unitarian type churches, very few people go. It turns out people that are interested in the spiritual things don't want a anything goes church. They're just not interested in going to church at all. You know what I'm saying? John Jeffries, you got your picture there. You look like a good man. Or is that Elvis? I can't see. It's so small. You know, uh, I'm a 2X. Well, I'm a 3X, John. I mean, I can wear a 2X, but got to get the belly down a little bit more for it to look right. I tend to be a 3X kind of person. You know, you know. Hello, it's me. James Williams visits us. Skipped right over me and didn't answer my questions. Well, see, as I say, I miss things in the live stream if it's very active, because when I do content, for example, I can't be looking at the screen at the same time. There's people like Michael Savage that, barely looks at it. Sometimes he'll look at it and he'll see a good question and he'll answer it, but it's hard. It's hard to do both because we're playing to an audience of in the replay, and they want me to do more than just answer the stream. But I appreciate everyone that's here. So, what was your question, James? I want to know about when are you going to talk about Pastor Bob and Elvis? That's all I am to you, James Williams. Right? You know, what was his name? Michael Parr, saying, "Oh yeah, Jack, he says he's going to back away from the topic." But as soon as he sees those numbers drop, I thought Michael Parr was my friend. Apparently not, because I remember he used to come on here earlier, and I would always say, Michael Parr, not John Parr. John Parr, the singer who did St. Elmo's Fire. I can't do all Bob Joyce, especially here in the live chat, but I'm gonna just allude to something I may be talking about a little bit more. I'll do it right now for you because that's all I am to you. That's all I am to you. Um, we have people that come on sometimes. Forget all the gabbing, just get to the Bob Joyce. They have a 3 minute span of attention, 8 minutes at the most, and that's just the way it is. Um, Elvis has been injured a lot. I'm really not talking that much about Pastor Bob Joyce. We told you where he's going to be, and I mentioned to you that I've heard from Gene Ho. But I'll say something about Bob Joyce, but the first words and the title of this live show is Elvis Injuries. In the movie uh, Roustabout, 1964, Elvis got 9 stitches um, near his right eye, but when you see the pictures, the bandage is on his left eye. So that might be incorrect. Um, and in 1967, he had the most severe head trauma occurred when he hit his head on a porcelain bathtub. It knocked him unconscious. After these incidents, even mild traumatic brain injuries can happen after these kind of injuries. Elvis's behavior, this is 1967 now, seemed to change. He became erratic and irrational. Huh, interesting. Um, we have seen the movies and what have you where he had a temper and what have you. But later on, I don't think we saw too many signs of that. But then this is a very big topic, and you can't just brush through it like that. You have to think of his behavior in the 70s and what have you. I think it was Dr. Nick that got him addicted to injectable pain medication. And a lot of that had to do with karate. And speaking of karate, he became a black belt. he says. And there are different levels of that, apparently. And he broke his arm during a karate session. He broke his wrist in 1973 on his left arm after a karate uh, session. Elvis said from the stage he had broken his right pinky. This is a big one during karate. Many will say that Pastor Bob Joyce's right pinky is broken. Others will say it's just mere arthritis. Every person that age has arthritis. I have it at age 68. And you you learn that the more you get out there and move around, the less painful. If you don't use it, you lose it. The first to go is the knees. You got to get out there and walk and what have you. And of course, the more weight you've got on that, the more uh, problem you have. I understand, James. You're not a polka guy, and he does more than polka. I'm a bluegrass and southern gospel fan. I love both of those. The fiddle player from Jimmy Sturr plays in a bluegrass group when he's not with Jimmy Sturr. Does Pastor Bob have the same scars as Elvis? Do you believe Elvis signed his own death certificate? um, I've heard enough people say that that was his handwriting on the death certificate to say that all seems to line up. That Elvis Presley signed his own death certificate. The biggest insurance um, policy was not cashed in. There were some smaller ones cashed in. Um, so much was missing. So many people have said this, including in the Bill Bixby investigation, that he had many pictures of his mother and father, and on the list of possessions, so much was missing from that list that was declared. And um, I don't do the scars and the veins per se. Interestingly enough, I'm going to do a little something on that in a pre-recorded video that could be released tomorrow. I always rely on my tech guy, Andy. And sometimes we squabble a little bit. But uh, people that I respect, JJB, and other people say that the scars and the veins matched up. What I do is the chronological storytelling. I don't focus on his expressions. Um, Elizabeth does, and she can talk about that if she's here. And you could even, chat with her if she wanted to. Um, but so I tell the chronological story. I don't show anywhere near as much roll-in video or pictures as others do. Church video, it's a minimum here, but there are those videos out there right here on this channel. Some of them have gotten quite a few hits, and you can find all of them here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. But if you're just looking for that Bob Joyce fix, I probably will disappoint you because I'm doing something different than you may want. There's plenty of people, especially in the Facebook groups. It all seems to have moved to Facebook now. There's a plethora of Bob Joyce Facebook groups. But I'll tell you, you go on there and you disagree with them, your butt is out the door. They don't want dissent in those Facebook groups. They don't. They really don't. In fact, in some of them, you have to pledge that you believe this, that, and the other before they'll let you join. Raise your right hand. But I do love bluegrass, and I used to play Southern gospel on the Sound of Life Radio Network from time to time. It wasn't our main format, but I love those Gaither vocal sing-alongs. And got to go to see Bill Gaither in Poughkeepsie, New York, and it was fantastic. Okay, Deborah Lake, I hope you're feeling better. I didn't really get an update on that, but I hope things are going okay. You can always email me. My personal email is jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy at gmail.com. Good night to you, Deborah. And Sandra, welcome, James. Sandra, did Pastor Bob ever mention doing karate? He's mentioned a lot of things, like he was in the service in Germany. I haven't heard that him mention karate. Karate. But I may have missed it. Neo, I like bluegrass too. Even met Ricky Skaggs, had a nice conversation with him. Yes, I certainly remember Ricky Skaggs. And hi, David Brian Lawson again. It confuses me when you put the Brian in there. But um, Bob's lips look too thin. Elvis had big lips. Things like that can be altered. No one's mentioned the lips before that I can remember. They say usually the eyes are not far enough apart. I hear that a lot. Then I hear about Elvis got a nose job, and you know, Elvis's eyes were blue. A lot of people think they're brown. They appear to be brown in some movies because of the lighting and what have you. My lips thinned out, says Anastasia. My lips did not. I've always had big lips. My feet got bigger, Anastasia, as I put on weight. I went from a size 10 and a half to now a size 13. I could fit into a 12 and a half, but that definitely happened. Lips thin with age, huh? Ken says it too. Not Ken Larkin, but Ken Sproul. So if I've missed any of you, I'm sorry about that. Um, but it's interesting. It's interesting that Elvis did get injured. And, when you have head trauma like in 1967, that can lead to Parkinson's in later years and all kinds of things. Um, but if Elvis died in 77, he didn't live to see that. But I believe there's something very special about the year 2024. Not only is our world melting, and we have unrest, and we have gone back to like the 30s from brain dead college students that were, some of them were taught to hate Jewish people from birth. Others are just, they don't even go to the university. They're professional agitators, and they just want to cause unrest. And the only good part about it is they don't seem to like Joe Biden. So he's got his work cut out for him. President Trump is everywhere he goes, he's treated like a rock star, whether he's in Harlem, whether he's in the fire company in Manhattan or whatever. There seems to be a real understanding that 4 more years of Biden Harris would be like death to America. That's the feeling out there. Hi, Mary Cole. Hello, Jack. Did you watch the Derby? No, I didn't. I guess and I knew it was coming because I was in Brother Bruno's this afternoon for a sandwich, and Karen was doing some shopping at ShopRite. I shared my sandwich with her later, and they had just put the channel on that was going to have the Derby, but they said they'll show some old races first. And they said at about 6:36 East Coast time, they would probably have the start of the Derby. And that Dan horse, who was favorite second, he won over the favorite. So I didn't see it. Did Elvis ever see a UFO, says Scott Baker. Next question. Ken Larkin, can anyone deny that the pastor resembles Vernon? Yeah, that's a very good point. He certainly does, and he certainly resembles Elvis Presley, too. So, wow, 116 watching. Here's someone new. Susan Ferranzano. Ferrazzaro. How are you, Susan? Are you a friend or foe? Are you a bro or no? Are you a sister? Are you a sister? Or are you a blister? We don't know yet. Thank you, Anastasia. says Ken Larkin. Yeah. Yes, EP has a pet donkey. I don't know of EP. It's JH that has the donkey. Um, and if you watch a video on GeorgeMagazineLive.com, uh, Gene Ho has a show that broadcasts on there. I don't know if it broadcasts anywhere else. And he's taking you on a tour of his chicken farm in Hot Springs, Arkansas. He used to live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He ran for mayor of Myrtle Beach. He lived there for many years. And so he takes you on a tour of his chicken farm, and then we see this cute donkey there who comes up to the camera. You know, he's in a fence, but he comes up to the camera. Seems like a nice chap. And Gene Ho says to him, "Don't buy Elvis." Don't buy Elvis. And his wife admonishes Gene for saying that joke. He says, "My wife doesn't like that joke." And supposedly Pastor Bob verified that he was bit by a donkey. And probably said Gene's donkey because Gene would have been sitting right there in the sanctuary. That is the way it goes, I think. So another coinky dink, guys. Another coinky dink. There are some people, and one of them is here right now, that it doesn't matter that he went to Mar-a-Lago. You know, one guy was trying to say he didn't go to Mar-a-Lago, who he realized there was all this evidence that he went to Mar-a-Lago. And it doesn't matter what you throw at them. You know, for a pastor from a small, what is it, city, town, village, whatever it is, Benton, I think it's a pretty big place, um, that this pastor went to Mar-a-Lago. Well, it was a brain injury fundraiser. Do you think the pastor from the Methodist Church downtown for me has ever been to Mar-a-Lago, or the pastor out in Boise, Idaho? Then there's George Klein's funeral. What about that? Oh, it wasn't him. It wasn't Matt. Just looked like them. So no matter what you say, and I have said that he could be the love child of Elvis Presley. I will continue to remind you there's a video about that here. The verdict is number one. I should have a complete list of all my videos so I could promo them better. One video where we talked about a barrel full of Bob Joyce's. That was a live show, a barrel full of Bob Joyce's. We talk about that there seems to be definitely two. There's Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Walina, who would be about 71 years old right now. We've shown pictures of him young and pictures of him older, and as he grew older, he did look more like Elvis, but you can tell the difference between Bob Joyce and Robert Wayne Joyce. But Bob Joyce would have copied the look, and you know, you can go through the whole list, and you know, if someone is committed to not believing, if Bob Joyce comes out this year or before his passing and says that he is, they'll say, "Oh, no, I can't be wrong. I can't be wrong." So no, he's lying. EP had a donkey, huh? And was bit. Bob Joyce said he himself was bit by a donkey once. Yeah, well, I think that's a fairly recent story, right? Because it seems to be it was Gene Ho's donkey who bit him. And you know, you could use the joke that, you know, Gene Ho just knows that everybody thinks Bob is Elvis. So if the pastor got bit and he wasn't Elvis, he would still say, "Don't bite Elvis," as the joke. I get it. I get it. Oh, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see, right? That's just the way it is. Judy Wright is here. Hi, Judy Wright. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm not saying it right, huh? Karen would correct me on my donkey. Yeah, there's several words that she corrects me on that I'm not saying right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. As an announcer, I should know that. Donkey, yes, Dunkin' Donuts, donkey, donkey. Um, oh, he had a monkey and a donkey. Monkey. Had a monkey and a donkey. Yeah, Karen, we'd be sitting there watching the replay, and she would tell me it's not donkey, it's donkey. So you beat her to the punch by Mary Wells. Yes, you did. What do you think about all this, Stefan? He says, "Good night, Brenda. Good nights, Brenda." Well, if Brenda's saying she's leaving, she's probably not. If you're leaving, good night. That's right, Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. One hit wonder that Betty Wright was. Betty Wright was also very famous here in the Hudson Valley as the owner of the Warwick Valley Dispatch. I knew her son, Gene Wright, worked with him. He was a wild dude. I'm not saying he's passed away. I don't think he has. Very wild dude. Talk about conspiracy theorist. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I would be, in my peace officer uniform, look like a New York City cop, except I was anything but that. I was pretending. I was fake. I was fake cop. I did it for 19 years. I faked my way through so I could get a pension. I made one and a half arrest in 19 years, and I was forced to do both of them. When a guy comes up to you, you're in full uniform, his head is bleeding, and he says, "You see that man over there? He hit me, and I want him arrested." I can't. My record was ruined then. I wanted to go all 19 years and not make one arrest. I'm not a cop. They never said, "How much of a cop are you?" They saw that I had been in the security field, been a captain, post supervisor, all that. So they figured, well, that's something. But they never even wanted me to make arrests because that would make the newspaper and make the homeless men's shelter look bad. So it wasn't like the captain would call me in and say, "You got to make more arrests." They didn't want that. But these gung ho officers could not be stopped. They'd make an arrest for one or two joints and then go home and smoke one. I swear they would, Judy Wright, not Betty Wright. And it's funny you mentioned Karen Carpenter because there's this woman. You got Spotify, Scott Baker. Uh, Check out Harriet. She just goes by that name. I don't believe in reincarnation. The Catholic Church used to believe in reincarnation in the early days. I'm not 100% on it, but because there's a scripture that says, and I don't know where this is, somebody maybe could find it. He who overcomes, I will make a pillar in the temple of God, and she will go no more out. And that's what they use for that to them is the reincarnation scripture in the Bible. And people that kind of mix Catholicism with, I don't want to say Wiccan. No, I don't want to say Wiccan. Catholicism with not Santeria, but close. Uh, with mysticism. Okay, I guess that's the best way to say it. They would believe in reincarnation and say the Catholic Church used to teach it. Harriet is the only name you need if you go to Spotify. She has blonde hair, long blonde hair. Scott Baker, if there is reincarnation, Harriet is the reincarnation of Karen Carpenter. I just wish she says that she does Carpenter songs in her act. She's from the UK, so I don't know if she's even been to America. Um, you will not believe. You'll hear it in songs like her. She does cover songs mostly. Trying to Get the Feeling Again, the Barry Manilow song. Harriet, listen to her version of. Now, she does boy girl songs, but she's got her version of She's Out of My Life by Michael Jackson. And Michael did a wonderful job on that. I won't take anything away from him, you know. Um, but she does "She's Out of My Life," and you can hear Karen Carpenter in that song. Sometimes she kind of alters the voice so you don't hear it, but she is the closest thing to a carbon copy of Karen Carpenter, one of the most incredible, prolific voices. So check her out on Spotify. She's probably right here on YouTube, no doubt about it. Um, it's uh, that's a hard one because I think they're kind of like both Elvis and Karen were so unique in their style. So to say which one was better, you know, uh, I would think in terms of female singers, hard to beat Karen Carpenter, really hard, hauntingly beautiful voice. And until I heard Harriet, I've never heard anybody sound like her. And Elvis Presley, many have tried to be exact, but there's only one chap I know that has really nailed it. Can't think of the name right now. That's a yoke. That's a yoke. I'm yoking with you. Teresa. Well, Selena, I see you learned how to highlight. Teresa Brandenburg. Carol, have a blessed week, everyone. Well, I didn't even know you were here and you seem to be saying goodbye. I don't know where you're from. I'd be curious to know. That's just, you just like the host always wants to know where he's being seen. It's an ego thing. Michael Hoover, whose family created a vacuum, says the Bible uses another name for a donkey. Yes, it does. And that other name, it's perfect for several political people that come to mind. But we can all be donkeys sometimes. Let's just be honest. Scott Baker says she's a doppelganger, but you haven't listened to her, have you? Did you just listen to her now? Doppelganger is used in Dark Shadows a lot. Um, the character of Angelique uses a doppelganger when Barnabas gets stabbed in the coffin by a crazy character that Nancy Barrett was doing. I love Nancy Barrett from Arizona. Hello, Nancy. Wish you were watching. She'll be at the Dark Shadows Remembrance in Burbank on the 5th and 6th of July. How much I would love to be there. I can't say it in words, but that's expensive. It's not that the convention's expensive; it's the hotel and the travel to get there. I've been to Burbank, lived in lived in Hollywood, but that's 3,000 miles plus up the road. I did see Peter Noon last night. Someone encouraged me to go. Karen didn't go. She was watching the Suzanne Summers relatives, Big Al, Alan Hamill, who is the widower of Suzanne Summers. Karen loves the Suzanne Summers products. We have Gut Renew and the custard, the chocolate custard pudding that is made in part of things like cod fish, but you can't taste any fish in this pudding, and it's very easy to make, and it's supposed to be very good for you. So there you go. Gut Renew, very good. Um, so, Selena, hi. I just looked her up, and she's on YouTube. Selena, all I can tell you, she blew me away. She blew me away. I just want to hear her sing a Carpenter song. I want to hear her sing "For All We Know" or "Superstar" or "Goodbye to Love." No one ever cared if I should live or die. Scott, I think you just want to be disagreeable. I think that's what it is. If you can't say anything good about Harriet, I am very suspicious of um, your likelihood of liking anything um, that I might say. Hi, Jack and family. Julie Backus. Welcome. How are you? Good to see you. Karen Gagnon is here as well. Glad you're here. Willie, we named our cat. Well, at least you said something that pleased me tonight, Scott Baker. Willie Loomis is our cat. Um, we saved him from the gas station, and we thought Willie was a Wallina. Then I don't know why we couldn't tell this, but took Willie to the vet, get some shots, and make sure Willie was okay. But we were calling, what were we calling Willie then? Some female name. Then we found out it was a boy, and that's when he became Willie Loomis. John Carlin, who he won an Emmy for playing the sheriff on Cagney and Lacey when he was much heavier with a mustache. Was an amazing actor, and he did wonderful things. He was the second Willie. Here's stuff people won't care about. He was the second Willie on Dark Shadows. He replaced an actor that held the role for a short time. John Carlin was getting ready to go out to L.A. and try his luck out there because he said he was getting to the point where he felt, even though he was a good-looking guy and everything and had a lot of talent, that he was just not going to be successful. So he was going to try one more shot in L.A. And the phone rang and said, they're looking for somebody, his manager, they're looking for somebody on this Dark Shadows. Have you heard of it? He said, yeah, I've heard of it. He says, there's this actor who plays Willie Loomis, and they're replacing him. And it might have been the actor decided to leave because of some reason. Um, and they're looking for someone to replace him. And the ratings are climbing since Barnabas Collins showed up. Jonathan Frid is the vampire. And so he decided to go and meet Dan Curtis, and he became a beloved actor on Dark Shadows. He died in 2019, and he's got a great movie that you can see on Tubi that he did right after Dark Shadows in 1971. It's filmed in a foreign country. Trying to think which one. There's nudity in it. I'll warn you. And it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Carrie. Karen and I enjoyed it very much. Okay, you say Harry is real good. I'm starting to like you again, Scott. I just couldn't believe it myself, because I've never heard anybody sound like Karen Carpenter. Well, good night to you, Marianne Rossi. Yes, email me, and we hope to see you in Clark, New Jersey on May the 19th. Well, here's M. Silva from the Lone Star Estate. Got my hubby listening tonight. Terrific. You guys do a lot of police work when you're not doing your full-time job. You protect your community. You're very involved with that. And you go to that steak stockade that I've been to out in Texas. It's kind of like we had the Ponderosa here, and it reminds me that place. It's kind of a discount version of Golden Corral, if that makes sense. And sort of got a little Texas Roadhouse in there, but I enjoy that place when I go out there very much. I have been there at least twice, and I need to get out there. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that, when I'm going to do that. Obviously, August would not be my first choice to go to Round Rock, but you don't need a stove then. You just fry your eggs right on the sidewalk. It could be as high as 115 degrees. Was it not, M. Silva? Last for quite a few days, it was well over 100 degrees. But it got hot here in New York, too. It was at least close to 100. On Top of the World, the most hardest to perform, really. I thought by Karen Carpenter, just outstanding. Yeah, she did a wonderful job on that song. A little country twang to it in that song. What's my favorite Karen Carpenter song? Well, you have to understand how amazing the performance was in Superstar, one of their biggest hits, because Richard handed her the lyrics on a napkin. They had already laid down the track to it. Um, and she wasn't involved, and she came in, and he handed her the lyrics on a napkin and said, let's just do a run through, see if you can get the feel of the song." And that's what you hear on the radio, guys. Her first interpretation was so perfect, so magnificent, that they said the crew said, "That's the record. You can't get that any better." That's how special she was. "Goodbye to Love" is another big favorite. Love that. "Goodbye to Love, for all we know, rainy days and Mondays always get me down." And of course, the early ones, "We Only Just Begun." It was a bank commercial in the state of California, right? Florida or California. Paul Davis, remember the little guy from Smokey and the Bandit? Prolific songwriter. He wrote some beautiful songs. Carmen knows these songs. Yeah. Um, it was just a bank commercial. "We only just begun." It was a young couple going in for a bank loan to buy a house. And could have been Herb Alpert who noticed that and called Paul and said, "Could you turn in that into a full song?" And that became the second big hit for the Carpenters. They kind of missed with their first one, which was an incredible version of "Ticket to Ride" by the Beatles. Slow it down to a ballad, and so sad the way she sang it. That didn't become a big hit, but they had "Close to You" ready, which made them superstars. Let's talk about superstars. "Close to You" put them way up on the charts, and then they just followed with one after another. What do you think, Sharon? All sounds just like Elvis. Noon can do this. What can he do? He can't do Elvis. He did a pretty good Benny and the Jets last night. He always likes to say Elton John is his mother. He's about the same age as Elton John. But he did the high part of Benny. I'm not going to try to do it here. Not that I could. But he says my mother is a singer, and then he starts singing the high part of Benny and the Jets. And then he goes back to the stage because he comes down and works the audience a lot. And then he goes back to the stage and he says Rolling Stones, and they start doing "Start Me Up," and he's doing the peacock thing and everything. 76 years old, and he is still rocking it. He's in Elgin. He was in Elgin, Illinois tonight. I don't know how they get the equipment there from the Paramount Theater downtown. How they were able to get the equipment there for an 8 p.m. show, meaning it had to be there by 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I don't know how they do that. And he's in Illinois Sunday night, and then he usually does three nights, and then he flies back to his home in Santa Barbara, California. I've been to Santa Barbara once. It was very beautiful. Um, we sure do have Willie Loomis. He's a pretty young fellow. Um, Next time I'll show you a picture of Willie. I'll tell you, it was like, I wasn't really planning on certainly promoting getting another cat. When I moved in here in 2010, there were 7 of them, but I would grow to love each and every one, except maybe one, and that was a mistake. Not really loving Panda. She was a pain in the butt. Oh, and then there was Scully, the mother of these are beautiful long-haired cats. Scully was, and her son. He's passed away now. Several of them are buried in the backyard. I call them Tootie. That was like a nickname. Beautiful long-haired blonde cat. And then I think he got cancer, and he just walked off into the horizon. I saw him do it, to be honest with you. Um, and I knew he wasn't coming back. I know that sounds cruel. I should have went and got him, right? And we should have spent $350 at the vet, the ashes and everything. But I just let him go. Now Herb, one of my and it was summertime. One of our favorite cats, Herb. I named him Herb. He was really Gypsy, so Herb Gypsy. He was like 24 years old. Great cat. He liked me. I treated him very well, and there was a dog here too, and five birds. I moved into a virtual animal sanctuary back in 2010. Well, of course, she's older than 71, um, especially if she was Elvis's girlfriend in Germany. Or some people have said it wasn't Germany, but Elvis did basic training in arc. Yeah, Elvis. I can say Elvis and not be afraid that I'm saying it wrong. Um, Elvis did basic training in Arkansas. Could that be possible? Has anyone ever heard that? And that's where he met Willina. And of course, when we say that Willina is the girlfriend with Elvis for a while there, we speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. You know that, Nancy DeMarco. I care for 8 feral cats. Yeah, that's another thing we do. Oh, Nancy, you can't not do that, right? Oh my goodness, I bought cat food today for these cats. Mama and all her offspring, huh? Along with my neighbor. I have a shed with a heater. Wow, and food and beds. Well, good for you, Nancy. God will bless you for that. We have an igloo dog place with hay and everything under the house that they can go to. But of course, when it's 12 degrees out, that ain't going to matter. There's also a barn behind us, ways up the hill. And I think a lot of them sleep there. They leave the light on for them. I think the deer and everything go in there. But yeah, we have Buddy, the feral cat. We have Roxy, the raccoon, who just had babies. And so they'll be coming around. So we feed Roxy the raccoon, and pretty soon more than that. And then there's the deer. There's the deer that show up in the yard. They get fed in a number of different places. We give them apples sometimes and what have you. Some of those deers are pregnant, and there'll be fawns around our backyard pretty soon. It's quite something to see. I'll take some video. I can get Roxy on video, but she's skittish. The raccoon, she's getting so fat, but she's nursing. She needs to be fat. So yes, that's right. The age wouldn't work out, Karen, if Willina was 71. No, I believe Willina's older than 71. I do. But you don't want to talk about a woman's age, so I'll get off that topic real quick. I'll leave you guys to do that. Um, Hi, Susan Carter. What's going on with you? How are you? I'm glad you made it into the live. My goodness, I lose track of time. It's 1 hour and 42 minutes in. There's 118 watching. 89 likes. Yes, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't. We went over 7,500 subscribers today. I mean, you don't know how long it was at 7,400, 86 or 92 or something like 96. It stayed at 96, 4 away from 7,500 for like a couple of days. I thought, what is going on here? And then we finally went over 7,500. Anytime you produce new product, it's very important. So I was talking about Mike Parr was getting on me for, the video I did from the video that just went to 5,000 views. Maybe I called it I was talking about Bob Joyce at Mar-a-Lago. You can find that one. And, he was saying, well, Jack has said time and time again he's not going to do any more Bob Joyce, and then the numbers go down and da 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 da. He inferred that that you can get in trouble for in America for just stating the obvious things that are happening, being a commentator of the obvious things. I'm clear that I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong. And I was glad kind of to see that Gene Ho understands what I do. That was a real confidence booster. And, they know how to contact me if I really displease them. So there you go. But yeah, I have had to learn not to make these. Nobody else does it. I'm the only one stupid enough to say I'm not going to do the topic anymore and box myself in. Very few people put their face in this topic. Um, but um, you have to know who your audience is. And if I stop doing the topic completely, as many as we have hardcore fans that like the live shows, it'll dwindle. It'll dwindle to about 200 or 300 people tops. And yeah, like any other creator on YouTube, um, I need to supplement my retirement income. I mean, they're not all supplementing their retirement income. Some have a full time income, don't they? What about Wings of Pegasus? That guy, huh? He doesn't believe Bob Joyce is Elvis. I'm told that's fine, but he does very well. And there are some people that get 500,000, 1,000,000 views. They're doing amazingly well. I'm never going to see that, so I've just got a little bit, little bit to kind of supplement. And yeah, if you throw away your miracle topic, but having said that, there's going to come a day when I'm going to have to. And I would be very surprised if we don't see some major events in 2024. Basic training, you think? Well, I assume you're basing that on something, but that would work, Ken, because uh, you know Welina was in Texas, so that would work. That could be it. See, we think it's Germany, and it could be Texas. Yeah, I kind of think you're onto something there, Ken Larkin from Larkin Store in the '60s here in Middletown. It could be that. It didn't have to be Germany because you don't get basic training where you're going to be assigned. They always tell you you're going to Hawaii. Yes, join the army, and we need people in Hawaii, and you end up in Vietnam. Well, Belinda Lemon, which is Margaret. Well, look at you, very dashing, Jack. Yes, this is the shirt, the No Boundaries shirt. It's a Walmart shirt. Sometimes they got good stuff. I have my Hawaiian shirts, which are from Hawaii, courtesy of Carol in the great state of Florida. Got me some authentic Hawaiian shirts. Um, and they were a lot more than what this shirt cost. And I wear them from time to time still. And you can see one in The Verdict. My favorite one is in The Verdict. Good man. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Nancy, was that you saying that? A good man likes cats. Yeah, there are people. If you don't like animals, then I don't like you. I've heard it. I heard a lot of that. You know, I don't trust a person that doesn't like a dog. I mean, there are various ways of liking a dog. Some people say, "Come on, dog, sleep on my bed." I'm not that guy. I don't want my bed smelling like a dog. I don't even really like cats on the bed, but it depends. Karen does. She likes cats on the bed, and that's where Willie Loomis is right now on her bed. Okay, so there you go. M. Silva comes through, and she is very good at what she does. So Elvis did basic at Fort Hood, Texas. Okay, you were able to find that, and that's probably where he could have possibly, who knows, met Willina. Uh huh. Um, that's a possibility. Or hey, here's Chantal too. We speak of possibilities here. Hi, Chantal. Thank you, by the way, M. Silva. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jack, for all your presents and topics. for your presence and topics. It's nice. You have inspired me with what you sent me last time, Chantel, and I'm going to probably use it. Don't talk about it though right now, okay? Don't give it away. It's a nice black and white with very cool shirt. Yeah, both from Walmart. This is the throw blanket. You can find it at Walmart right there in house housewares or whatever in the throw section. You can find that. Um, all of them are from there, except for the one I use the most, the patriotic throw, which we got from Amazon. So thank you very much, M. Silva, and I hope you and your husband are having a wonderful weekend there. What's the temperature in Round Rock, huh? I know hot weather must have arrived by now. Um, Ken, friends who wrote a book say that when Elvis went for basic training in Texas, Vernon and Gladys visited him. Soon returning home, Gladys became ill and was put into the hospital, then passed. Yeah. Where are you, little star? Where is Margaret? I think she's stated before. It's always up to the person whether they want to reveal that, though, you know. Vicky, 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 Vicky. Oh, no, it's Vic's Practice Tracks. That must be a business. Do you supply karaoke tracks or people you wanting to record and use tracks for their CD? Do we still have CDs? I am Vicky, and I love the conversation. Is it Vic and Vicky then? That would be funny. Your husband's name is Vic, maybe? That would be extra cool. I don't know. I talk of possibilities here. It went into the 80s today in Round Rock, in Texas. Sorry. But it is 75 now. Okay, you say it in Round Rock. Waiting on a storm. Would that be James Storm from the last season of Dark Shadows? He'll be at the Burbank Dark Shadows Remembrance. James Storm. He was only on for a short time because the show was starting to go downhill at that point. As Jonathan Fritz said, we just ran out of storylines, and the kids move on after a certain time. But the show was so popular with so many millions. But by the time James Storm got there, they were fighting to stay alive, and they started to nosedive eventually and were canceled by ABC television. And then, this doesn't happen to As the World Turns or Love is a Many Splendored Thing or any of those old soaps. They may show up on the soap network, but Dark Shadows had has had and continues to have new generations discovering the show. It still stays fresh, and it's on Prime Video and Tubi and YouTube and everything. It's just wonderful. People continue to watch it. I saw the Round Rock. I did, M. Silva. My son pointed it out as we drove by the Round Rock, and got some decent pizza there once. Wasn't too bad for a guy who said he was from New York. They always say that. Well, thank you for stopping. Good night, Felice, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. Go to Spotify and check out Felice Cooper's music. You'll see it right there. Stay well. I hope so. That's in God's hands, but I sure need to help the process by, what I put in me mouth. So there you go. You have to use a boat to get to you, Margaret? Really? Hmm. Well, thank you, Linda Justice, for dropping by. Thank you very much. I'm glad you stopped, and I think we've got it covered. Prayers for you. Be safe. Yeah. Well, we're coming up on hour and 53 minutes, and still, um, 121 watching. Please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. That would be swell. What did you miss? You got to watch the replay, Margaret. Um, we did this, that, and the other thing. We did this, that, and the other thing. Let me see here. Let's play that spot one more time. Remember, if you're going to Benton, Arkansas on the 10th and 11th of August for the George Magazine extravaganza. Saturday, it's a paid event with special speakers. Sunday, it's free with Pastor Bob Joyce at the Hornier Hall Theater. That's where it's going to be in Hot Springs, not at the convention center. You can save 15% on the Saturday event. Go to georgemagazinelive.com to see all the information. The code to save 15% on Saturday is lowercase Gene, Gene. So let's play that spot one more time. Only the audio when I do a pre-recorded video on Pastor Bob Joyce, which could be released later today. I'm not promising, but it very well could be. Then you'll see the actual spot.
Join us in beautiful Hot Springs, Arkansas for the first annual George Magazine Live, August 10th and 11th, with special guests Richie Minervini, John B. Wells, Amanda Grace, Pastor Bob Joyce, Donay Clement, Juanita Broderick, Scott McKay, Andre Polka, and special online appearance by Dave Blade, the CEO of George Magazine, with your musical guest Bella Polka and me. Come on, join us Sunday for a free Sunday service as well with Pastor Bob Joyce. It's George Magazine Live, August 10th and 11th. Find out more at georgemagazinelive.com.
That was Gene Ho. So there you go. Yeah. And I have been invited to attend the event. I'm going to try. At my age, it's the idea of driving out there is, I have done it. I passed the Benton exit, but it was on a Wednesday when I was passing by. I have made the drive. So there you go. You can get all the information on hotels, the package and stuff by going to georgemagazinelive.com. Donna Clement said, come. We work with people that can pay full price. Well, you've got to go through the sign-in process. And check with Gene Ho and what have you. I make backing tracks for karaoke on my channel. There you go. I had a feeling. I got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Anybody remember gospel singer Walt Mills? I think he's passed away now. He was from Texas for sure. And he was on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. Walt Mills, his biggest song, I Got a Feeling. Check it out on your music provider. Nancy, I am 67. I was 67 last year, and I'm going. You can do it too, especially if you were invited. Yeah, that was a surprise. So there you go. I'm not ruling it out. I really am not ruling it out. I'm not committing, but I'm not ruling it out. Carlene Brown says, good night. Jack, didn't know you were here, Carlene, but I'm very glad you stopped by. And those of you in the replay crowd, very glad you stopped by. I really do appreciate it. We try to talk about other things and just pray for what's going on in this country. There's evil at every turn. We're in the last days. and it's only going to get worse. As Sean Hannity says, vote for President Trump so it can get better for a while before it gets worse. Those who say our best days are ahead of us, well, maybe President Trump could make some um, great days if God would allow and use him. I always say Donald Trump fulfills the scripture God will use the foolishness of this world to confound the wise, because he is a character. We know that, but he did some wonderful things as president. He did some wonderful things, and we know he's not a choir boy. We understand that. I think Bill Clinton managed to do some good things during his presidency, and we sure know he wasn't a choir boy. How many times was he at Epstein Island? Um, Romans chapter 4, beginning with verse 7. Blessed are they whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man whose sin the Lord will never count against him. I don't think you can find a more comforting two verses than that. And let's see. Oh, they always talk about the love scriptures at weddings. Most people, it goes right over their heads. But chapter 12, verse 9, love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Whoa, that's where the rubber meets the road. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. From Romans, the 12th chapter in the NIV. In the NIV. Anytime I read scripture like that, it reminds me of how far I have to go. Finally, Shell made it. Hi, Jack, and everybody. Good night, Jack. Good evening, good night. Jack, I think the possibility of Elvis being alive is more of a probability, in my opinion. Yeah, well, there you go. I think if we may see something in 2024, I really do think that. But I've been wrong before, right? Jay Ken, welcome. Where are you from, Jay Ken? Yeah, forgive. Because if you don't forgive, the Lord says He will not forgive you of your sins. We forgive um, because we have been forgiven of so much, of so much. Thank you, Cheryl Larson. I know you think I should go. Um, I can't get Karen out there. I'm pretty sure I can't. So I'll be a one trick pony, and that's kind of lonely, you know. It's kind of lonely. It's also kind of expensive. Um, it's not kind of, it is, but I'm considering it. If I'm meant to be there, a way will come. A way will come. Um, won't be as easy to meet Pastor Bob at this auditorium because it's going to hold more seats. I don't know if he's even going to, do his normal meet and greet after the service. I don't know. Yeah, 2024, so much will be revealed beyond Pastor Bob. That's true. That's true. If if the evil ones, the progressives, win re-election in November, well, the fat lady's going to be singing soon. That's all I can say. But we don't know how long the process is in the last days. Um, Those of you pre-tribbers might be proven wrong pretty soon because we'll find out that we're in uh, the tribulation right now. We're in it. We're in the very beginning of it, perhaps. We'll see. I don't. I don't pretend to know for sure. Yes, bring me some crawfish. I've never had any. I'm willing to try that. There are things I'm not willing to try, but I will try that. Susan Carter, create a tip jar. Yeah, there is a thanks button that can be added. Um, and I noticed some people have that. So that is a definite possibility, right? That's something people do. But I wouldn't want people to give unless they, they could afford to do it. And, often it's something like $2 or something like that. Yeah. You won't be lonely. I think many will be saying hello. I sure will. And others will come up to me and say, you know, you're a real pain in the donkey. Donkey, not donkey. Donkey. Hmm. Who knows? Will popcorn be there? I don't know. I don't know. I'm with the ladies. You should go. Thank you, Julie, Julie, Julie. Do you love me? Julie, Julie, Julie. Do you care? Are we past 2 hours? We are. Amazing. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Ah, thank you so much for watching this edition of Worldwide Ramblings on a Saturday night. I think we'll be back doing this next Saturday night. During the week, we'll pop on to pop off. So set your notification bell. Please subscribe and like. That helps us. More people get to see it and know that we're on. And spread the word. Some of our shorter videos, not this one, if you can share it on your Facebook or what have you, whatever form you can share it on, please do. And they won't share a 2 hour video, though, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Good night, everybody. So many people. Anastasia, John Jeffries. See, now I've started naming people Chantel and Shannon and Shell and Nancy DeMarco. Those are the names I'm seeing in front of me. Jay Ken is from Central New York State, huh? Central. I'm in the lower Hudson Valley. So there you go. Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Pray for the sick listed here. Don't know her name, but there's a woman from Corpus Christi, Texas, who was in a serious car accident 2 nights ago. She's only 52 years old. She has a brain injury, and she's in intensive care. God knows her name, and so if you could lift her up in prayer, I'd really appreciate that. I won't say the connection of how I know this person. I don't know her. I've never met her, but people I know her. So pray for her. All right? That's how fast life can change. That's how fast. So stay prayed up. I'll be praying, and I'd like to see more action in my life. And that's a choice that's left up to me. That's a choice that's left up to me until there is no more choice to be made. Jack Willard saying a big God bless you. Good night, everybody.